Okay, Kim, we're recording now, and thank you again for being willing to do this with me and kind of being a guinea pig for everybody else to to
Yeah.
watch. So before we get into the actual role play, I would like for us to talk a little bit about the skills that we're going to be working on today, and what I kind of need from you in order to be able to demonstrate those skills.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you and I, we decided that we'd work on the week 4 skills. Um, I think it's week 4 skills,
Yeah, week 4.
week 4 skills, and so we're going to be looking at attuning confrontation.
Hmm.
Um, we're doing some of the confrontation skills. We're going to be looking at uh, attuning observation. Um, And so these are skills that help us to move a little bit deeper into what's going on with the client. So, what I need from you is for you to create a scenario where there's maybe a little bit of confusion or ambivalence about how you're feeling or what's going on, so that you give me the opportunity then to come in with some attuning confrontation,
Hmm.
um, and to do some of the attuning observation and kind of demonstrate the specific skills that we're looking at. Do you have something in mind that we could do?
Uh, yeah, I think so.
Okay. Okay. Now we're
You
also
want me
in.
to tell you what it is?
Yeah, we will in just a minute.
Okay.
Because what we're also going to do in this is we're going to assume that you have already been in for sessions before, and we're not starting out with a brand new session. We already have some background here because typically we would not use these skills heavily in the initial session of
Hmm.
counseling. So we're going to make the assumption that you've been in before. So yes, it would be helpful if you would tell me what kind of give me a setup for what we're going to do here. So then I can open our session with introducing that topic. Would
Okay.
that help? Okay.
Yeah. Um, yeah, so I was thinking, so I have like two different things that I was thinking that we could maybe try. Um, so maybe we could try something like um I feel like I am like being really hard on myself for school.
Okay.
um so that could be one. Or and like so I'm confused about uh yeah, like I feel like I'm not doing well, but like my grades reflect something else, like that I'm doing pretty well.
Okay.
Or we could do something like to do with like procrastination of like I know that I procrastinate, but like I have this conflicting feeling of like I want to be lazy. So I was thinking maybe one of those scenarios.
Okay. Either one of those sounds wonderful to do. So I'll just let you pick one, and uh, I'm not sure my camera is where I'm being able to look at you. So
Okay.
let's see how's that doing. Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. I felt like I was kind of looking off to the side, and
Yeah,
that doesn't
I feel
work too
like
well.
you're looking at me
Okay,
for the
good,
most part.
good. So, all right. So let's launch into the role play.
Okay.
Kim, thank you for coming back in again today, and for meeting with me. Wait, rewind. I said for you to choose which scenario you wanted to do, but I need to know which one you chose so that we can,
Uh,
for the setup.
yeah, let's do the grades one.
All right, we'll do the grades one. Here we go. All right, let's start this again. Kim, thanks so much for coming back in today. And you've been talking quite a bit about how you feel about your grades in graduate school. Wondering if we can continue that conversation a little bit today.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Okay,
think that would be great.
good, good, good. Well, I know that you have said that um, you you worry that you're not doing a good job.
Yeah.
Can you
Like
tell me a little more about that?
yeah, like I don't know. I feel like, I'm practicing skills and I'm writing my papers and everything and I don't know. I just feel like I'm not doing well in school and it's really discouraging. Like I
Mm,
want to be like doing well. I've never had a 4.0 and I really want to keep that 4.0. Um and I just want to keep my grades up and I want to make sure that I'm doing well and learning the skills and I don't know, I just feel frustrated with myself. Like I I want to make sure that I am doing the best that I can be doing.
yeah, and there was kind of a really deep sigh as you said that, frustrated with myself. Can you tell me a little bit more about being frustrated with yourself?
Yeah, I think I'm just frustrated with myself because I think I can do better than what I'm doing
Mm,
and
okay.
like I'm not living up to my potential.
So
And that's what
perhaps
I
some disappointment there as well as frustration.
yeah, I would say disappointment
Okay.
as well as frustration. So like disappointment in myself.
Mm. So you would like to be doing more than you are doing.
Yeah, like um I I would like to be doing more in the sense of like, you know, making sure that I am doing everything correctly. And with learning new skills, like it's hard to make sure that you're doing everything correctly because I'm not doing it correctly because I'm making mistakes.
Mhm. And what's it like for you, Kim, when you make a mistake?
Um, it's hard. I feel like I shouldn't be making mistakes.
Mm.
Um,
Should is a pretty powerful word. Wondering what um, what leads you to that should.
um, hmm. I don't know. I think I just have like this expectation for myself that I'm not meeting.
Okay. Okay. So it's an expectation that you feel like you've put on yourself.
Yeah,
Okay.
like an expectation that I need to be the best and my grades are not reflecting that.
Okay. So I'm kind of curious, Kim, about what it might look like if you were doing what you would like to be able to do.
Um, um, I think maybe that I would just be doing it correctly, that I would be doing writing papers correctly, performing skills correctly, hearing feedback that I'm doing it right. Um, and I mean, yeah, I know I have like an A in the class, but like being able to keep going up, you know?
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. I'm wondering what your experience has been like in the past with learning something new.
Um, well, I think it kind of depends, like learning something new versus like in class and learning something new that's not in a classroom setting
Okay.
have been different.
Okay. So how have those been different?
So Learning something new, not in a classroom setting. I feel like there's less pressure because I'm not working toward a grade. I'm doing it for myself. Where in a classroom setting, I feel like there's a lot of pressure to get the A's and to work for A's. Um, but the ironic thing is, like, I've never been like a straight A student. Like, I've had all of my friends groups have been A students, but I've always been like an A, B, maybe a C student.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, I don't know. Like, I want to I want to be like my friends and getting A's, but it's hard to realize that I'm not like those smart friends.
So uh, you're making some comparisons between you and what your friends seem to be able to do.
Yeah, I guess
And
so.
yet, a minute ago, you told me that you have an A in the class. So that I'm wondering about that. An A in the class doesn't indicate someone who is um, not up to snuff.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I don't know, it's still hard. Like, yeah.
So it sounds like part of your expectation might be that it might be easy.
Well, I mean, I know it's not easy to work for, like, to get an A, like, you put in the hard work, but
Hmm.
then but maybe there is part of me that wants it to be easy because it seemed like my friends always, it was always easy for them to get A's. So why
Ah,
isn't it easy for me to get an A consistently? Like, why do I have to put more work into it than what they apparently didn't
mhm.
and
Does
still
that
got
seem
an A?
unfair sometimes?
Yeah, I would say that. Like, it seems unfair of, yeah, it's just not fair.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. And sounds like it makes it a little more difficult too for you to recognize what you are doing.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm so focused on trying to make things right and that everything should be fair for everyone. And this just seems like it's not fair.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. And that's a pretty deep thought, deep belief, Kim, that things should be fair for everyone. Uh, it sounds like you would like things to be equitable, um,
Yeah.
but your life experience shows you that life is not equitable. So, so what does that feel like for you? What's that like for you when you come up against things that are unfair?
Um, I know there's like a lot of like justice that comes out in me
Okay.
of that, like, I want to make sure to set it right. I like to fight for the little guy or the underdog. Um, to make sure that they get a voice and they get a say. Um, I feel like that's a, I don't know, like, I feel strongly about it that, I mean, everybody should have an equal shot, but that's not reality.
Hmm.
And it makes me mad.
Mm, okay. So there's some anger there too, and I wonder if that anger gets translated to your own expectations of yourself sometimes.
Hmm. Yeah, it might. Um, it's kind of hard to think about, like, to think that I am angry at myself.
Mm,
I feel like that's I think that is a very strong word. I like to use like a softening word of disappointed.
Okay.
But maybe it is anger. I don't know.
Okay. So, um, you'd like to lead into it with disappointment, but there might be something a little deeper there, like maybe some anger, some frustration.
Yeah.
A lot of those feelings don't walk by themselves, they come in clusters.
Yeah, that's uncomfortable to think about.
Yeah, it is uncomfortable. It's very uncomfortable. So what I'd like for us to be able to do, Kim, as we continue to meet together, is for you to maybe be able to explore some of those uncomfortable places.
Mhm.
And I want to thank you again for talking with me today. And I want us to be able to continue this conversation as we would meet again. Now, as we go away today, I'd like to just kind of touch on. We've talked about a number of things today. We've talked about your expectations of yourself, your disappointment when you're not able to do things perfectly,
Mhm.
and you're comparing yourself to your other friends. So I'm wondering if maybe you can think about some of those things in the time between now and when we meet again, and see maybe what feelings as you think about those and spend some time with them. See maybe what feelings you're able to identify, and maybe we could talk about those next time.
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, well, let's debrief this a little bit, Kim.
Okay.
Um, were you um, were you able to pick up on any times when I did the attuning observation or the attuning confrontation?
Yes.
Okay, okay. Can you give some of those examples that you experienced as we were going through the role play?
Yeah, so I noticed, especially with the confrontation, um, sometimes the confrontation felt a little uncomfortable, like for
Mm,
me, as like the client, but it was like in a gentle way. So even though it felt uncomfortable, it was it was nice. Like you weren't attacking me.
yeah, we can do confrontation with grace, um,
Yeah.
and after all, excuse me, our goal is for our client to gain better understanding. So we want to not put them on the defensive as much as we can,
Yeah.
you know. And I'm gonna kind of jump to when I ask you about the anger.
Hmm.
You paused a minute and thought about that, and then you began to make some connectors with the possibility. You said anger is a that's a pretty strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So as a therapist, what I would take inside of me with that is that perhaps anger is a difficult emotion for you to express
Hmm.
or to be in the presence of, or um, um, to kind of sit with.
Yeah.
And so I would want to kind of file that in the back of my head
Hmm.
and talk with you again later about anger specifically, and how you internalize that. Um, but that's an example of an attuning confrontation that puts the possibility out there and does it tentatively.
Hmm.
But then I didn't badger you about it, and I
Right.
didn't try to interpret it for you. Well, I think you might be angry because of this, or this.
Hmm.
Um, I gave that to you, and then I'm going to let you sit with that and think about whether or not there is some some strong emotion of anger involved that maybe that maybe goes beyond frustration.
Mm-hmm.
I heard some disappointment there, you know, and that gives us the opportunity to expand on those feelings.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried to do that a couple of times with the attuning observation, the the sounds like or wonder if or those kinds of things.
Yeah.
So now, did doing this role play help you to understand these skills better?
Yes, I think so. Especially the confrontation
Okay.
skills of how to like even how to present it.
Okay.
Um like especially like with the when you mentioned anger and then how you let me pause and then you let me sit with it and then even when we were talking about my friends and then you pointed out that like it sounds like I don't remember exactly what you said, but something in the realms of like it sounds like you're comparing yourself or like you're struggling with that or
Mm-hmm.
you know
Yeah. Yeah.
so like being able to see that helped.
Yeah. And that was another type of confrontation. And slipped in, went into a little bit of this week's skills with the irrational beliefs of talking to you about how when you said you're making A's in the class.
Mm-hmm.
So how does that match up with that you're not performing up to speed, or what's the um, you know there and just listening to you talk about that, it sounds like it uh, um, could be about that. Um, I kept wondering if there was an element of not good enough
Mm.
in there, and I don't know. That would be something to explore, maybe. But a number of your comments that would might be something we'd bring in a later session. But
Yeah.
uh, uh, but a lot of those comparison kinds of things and the
Mm-hmm.
being hard on ourselves have to do with that inner critic and um, uh, the I'm not good enough. I don't measure up. And no matter what I do, it's not enough. I should be doing more than what I am.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Um, so, um, so all of the things that we talked about open doors for us to talk about those things maybe down
Yeah.
the line as we continue in the counseling relationship.
So like
So,
the skills that we learned today, well, not learned, but went
mhm,
over today, like that's like a segue into like this week,
mhm.
basically.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think it's a little bit confusing too sometimes because when we're practicing these skills, it's kind of like, okay, now I got to use this skill. Now I got to use this skill. Now I got to use this
Yeah.
skill. And when you're actually sitting in sessions with clients, you're going to go back and forth between the skills. You're going to pull in some attuning. You're going to pull in some invitational skills. You're going to pull in some reflecting. You're going to pull in some summarizing.
Yeah.
And then you're going to go back to attuning again for a little bit, and you know, so you're really going to be they're going to be interwoven, and so it's kind of artificial the way we do them, the way we're doing them in these role plays, because you're
Mhm.
singling out specific skills to see, okay, can I apply those skills? Am I getting the
Right.
concepts? So,
Yeah.
all right. Well, um, I don't think we have time to do another one
Okay.
today, but I want to thank you again uh,
Yeah.
for doing this with me and processing it with me, and I think it'll be helpful for your classmates as well. So I'll get
Awesome.
this recorded or get this saved and converted to YouTube, and we'll get it posted. I may go back and make some comments about uh, where um, where and why I was doing certain things.
Okay.
So may
Great.
add those to it. All right.
Awesome.
Okay, Jill. Thank you so much. I'm going to turn the recording off.
Okay.